Hi, everybody. My name is Rita Crompton, also known as the Inventor Lady. Thanks for joining us. And today we have Lexa Gandolfo on with us. She is the inventor of the Cargo Caddy. And Lexa, thank you so much for doing the radio call on Monday. We are grateful. I think it was a couple of weeks ago when you did it,
Yep.
so it should actually be airing already. And so we want to take the chance now for Lexa to tell us about the invention, and you can actually see it. So Lexa, it's all yours.
Thanks so much for giving me this opportunity, Rita. I really appreciate it. And I had a great time doing the radio show as well, so I appreciate it. So Cargo Caddy is it's a trunk shelf organizer for SUVs and CUVs. You can see it behind me. It's kind of like an airline tray. It opens up when you need it and stows when you don't. And it really solves the problem of these big sort of square trunks that SUVs and CUVs have, which are great for hauling around big items, but when you have everyday items or camping or tailgating or kind of outdoor recreation items, it's not so good because everything gets piled on top of each other. So what Cargo Caddy does is it gives you an extra or new level of storage space up above the trunk floor for the smaller items, water bottles, sleeping bags, small coolers, fishing rods, sports equipment, backpacks. There's a lot of different applications for Cargo Caddy. It really subdivides that big box height of those big SUVs and even the smaller CUVs. So that's the problem it solves, and that's essentially what it does.
Both of my daughters have SUVs, and both of them need this because when I go in the back and we're putting stuff in, like from the grocery store, and it's piled on top of, stuff from the kids and the softball games and the soccer balls, and everything just gets piled on. It's like, okay, what happened to this? And so I get it. I really do. And I don't know that I've actually seen now that I've seen the Cargo Caddy, the back end of an SUV that doesn't need it, because they are all loaded with stuff that is small, and you wish it was in, a glove compartment. It's like, oh yeah, well, that's the wrong end of the car. So it's, it's a really good product to have. And so what have you been doing with it to kind of get it out there now? I know you've refined it to go from the metal one that was heavy to a plastic version.
That's right. That was one of the sort of pivotal moves that I've made. I originally envisioned it as an aluminum kind of a rugged product, but it was just simply too expensive to manufacture. So especially with the price of aluminum skyrocketing since the beginning of COVID. So moreover, though, it was heavy to ship. There were a lot of problems with it. It was a great looking product, and I have the prototype in my car and I use it every day, my SUV. But for a sleeker, lighter weight product, I have been thinking for a while, and glad I finally did it, of converting it to plastic. So I worked with a design team in Sweden, actually, and redesigned it from the ground up in plastic. And that's what's behind me right now on my screen. What I've been doing, to answer your question, is reaching out to different prospective licensees. I have, it's patent pending, and I have CAD files, and I have pricing on molds. I have everything ready to go. So it's kind of neatly packaged, and I've gotten, I actually was far along in the process with a particular licensee, but for internal kind of economic reasons, they put a stop on all new product development, not just my product. So again, I am at a point now where I'm basically just kind of going to hand this neat package over to another licensee when I generate that interest, and when I get someone to kind of grab onto it, and it's ready to go. I mean, it's production ready.
And that's great. And I would like to extend an invitation to you to join us at the National Hardware Show.
Yes,
this year.
That'd be wonderful.
Because, stepping away from the SUV industry, not as far you would use it, but now to a bigger audience as far as licensing goes, somebody that wants to be in that industry, because we get a lot of, the things that are there from like Pep Boys and stuff. So they're looking for those kinds of things that they would be able then to compete in the marketplace for automobile accessories. So we've had automobile accessories there before. So, think about
100%. And I've actually gotten in the last week or so, a significant amount of interest from local auto dealerships who are looking at this product as an add-on. So I've been taking pre-sales orders over the last week for this as sort of like, instead of, a floor mat or, special paint, this is another promo or add-on item for a dealer. So it wasn't something that I was looking at heavily before because I was looking more at manufacturers, but now I'm looking at kind of pre-selling to dealers and then going back to licensees and saying, I've got an order for X number of cargo caddies.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that we look at. I know that we've had a lot of interest on some of our products from a group that manufacture, I believe, in Michigan, but their big distribution is Canada.
Okay.
And so, they're looking at working with us on some of our other products. So.
Oh, excellent. Okay.
Give me a call. Let's get you at the show.
Okay. Yeah,
Right.
I'd love to go. I started this product, sort of really digging into this product. I had the idea back when my two older kids were toddlers. They're now 13 and 14. But I really dug into this product and right before COVID, so I haven't gotten a chance to go into any of these.
Yep. Well, and I remember, we talked about it in 2019 when I met you in DC. And, then it was like, okay, well, nobody put stinking pandemic in their 2020 business plan. And so, now we're all kind of getting, back on track. And I know that this show is, builders drive SUVs all the time. And the builder show is one of the big ones that's going to be there. And that, at the National Hardware Show, but, there's going to be a lot of those home products that are going to be there that, it's mothers that want to have the back of their SUV organized. So this is going to be a big show getting back after COVID. So anyway, think about it. Join us. All right.
Yes.
But now you are really involved in the United Inventors Association. So, I know that things have changed kind of over the last couple of years. So tell us what you see, the improvements that they've made to the organization and why it's so important for independent inventors to, check it out.
Yeah, well, I think the biggest thing is that the United Inventors Association, much like Invent New England, where I'm the executive director, and your group, the Roundtable, they're safe places for independent inventors at any stage of experience, especially the new independent inventors, to get good advice that is meant to really help the inventor and not take advantage of the inventor. And there's so much of that out there right now. And I easily could have fallen prey to it back in 2019 when I started, but I did so much research, and I met you and George Peters, who's the president of Invent New England, at the USPTO conference right before the shutdowns. And I got on that track of the UIA, independent inventor organizations, and I stayed away from the other stuff that probably would have cost me tons of money up front, and who knows what kind of returns I would have gotten. So I think that's the importance, the real importance of the UIA is the really good advice from experienced people who have been there, done that, brought products to market. I can think of 10 people off the top of my head who they're so helpful. They've been so helpful to me, and I know are continuing to be helpful to other independent inventors, and they'll just take your call and help you. So that's the key thing I see about the UIA that differentiates it from the other players in the space.
I know I laugh when, somebody will call, I'll answer my phone and they go, why are you answering your phone? It's because you called me. It's like, well, I was expecting it to go to an answering machine so you could, call me back. And it's like, can I help you? And I'd sent an email to a gentleman one night and I was responding and I said, well, give me a call. And it was 10 o'clock at night. And he called me and I said, you're calling at 10 o'clock. And he goes, you said to call you. I figured I'd do it right now. But, it's funny. People just don't expect, us to answer our phones. And I know that, George does frequently. I do, you do, Carmine does, all of us that are involved with inventors trying to make sure that we answer the right questions and get people on the right track. We do try.
It's not, so, I mean, and when I speak to inventors, they help me too. It's not a one-way street. I have set myself on a path to learning as much as I can, as fast as I can, and I want to just gobble it all up. So being part of Invent New England, where I'm the executive director along with George Peters, and being part of the UIA has helped me immensely. I've donated a ton of my time, but I see it as such a mutual kind of relationship where I've benefited just as much, if not more.
Oh yeah, and when people go to the meetings, you know, inventors, I frequently say, you know, your best resource is the inventor sitting next to you.
Yeah.
That, you know, done that, you know, you made a mistake, you can learn from them instead of making the same mistake, because frequently the mistakes in the inventing world cost money.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes you can't fix it. Sometimes you can, but sometimes it's just, you know, we'd seen one gentleman, he finally started coming to the meetings. He'd filed his own patent. It was way too narrow. So he wanted to do another one. They used his original one against him. That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
And it could not be made the way he filed it, but there was enough in it that they used it then against him.
Oh man.
I mean,
it blows my mind that the most innovative, resourceful, and risk-taking country probably on earth in terms of entrepreneurship has this system in place that is built to be against the independent inventor. It's disappointing. I'm hoping that it, you know, with all the work that all of us are doing, and you know, I know that the USPTO has people who are very, very invested in helping the independent inventor. I just hope that changes. I'll move away from the PTAB and more towards support people, you know, who have new ideas.
The predator groups that are out there. It's like, you know, I tell inventors, they'll say, well, what about this? And it's like, it doesn't matter how expensive the suit is, the shark will still eat you.
Yeah,
and you know, so, you know, be careful. If it sounds too good to be true, it's probably not true.
Yeah.
And so, you know, pay attention and ask the questions frequently. You know, they'll say, well, I knew that I shouldn't have been doing it. Then why did you do it? So anyway, we are out there to give the, you know, the right steps, the right advice, and you learn from each step in the process, and you make business decisions and based on what you've learned. There's not a, you know, it's not have idea, get patent to make money. There's a lot more to it.
I also think that's it. That's just that, you know, some people who they make it sound like it's this really quick, simple, easy thing, and you just pay a bunch of money and you follow a step-by-step thing, and then you're good to go. Look, I don't have any experience with it. Maybe for some people it has worked, but for me, my own experience dictates that this is hard. I used to own a software development company, a website design company, and yeah, it was difficult. I had to develop all my own clients and start from the ground up, but I was selling a service, and to a certain extent I was selling myself, and it happened fast. I just built it up. This is a whole nother ball game. When you have a product, you got to work hard to get that one chance at being lucky. It's like, you got to have some luck, but you got to work super hard to get that luck.
Yeah.
And there's really no other way around it. I don't think there's any quick and easy program you can enter and, you know, get a multi-million-dollar product to the shelves. I haven't seen it. If somebody knows about it, please let me know, because, you know, but it's a lot of work. It is just tons and tons and tons and tons of work.
It is, and you need to be careful with the decisions you make, and that's what we're here for. So thank you so much for joining us. I do appreciate it very, very much, and I will see you again soon.
All right, Rita, take care.
Bye-bye.